Furious Driving, proud to be supported by Diamond Bright, protecting, cleaning and caring for the Furious fleet and for yours, with 10% off using code FD10. Follow the links in the description below. Hello and welcome to Furious Driving. We're back again with Jason's new £1,000 Range Rover, and today we're going to do a little bit of servicing on it and find out what exactly is wrong with this thing. Hopefully not too much. But first of all, let's say hello to our fiend of the channel, Jason.
I have been summoned, and so appear.
Yeah, he's over there.
Yeah.
Right, so first of all, I've been down and bought a Wix oil filter for this thing because the TD6s are very, very sensitive on the turbo about oil, so fresh oil is going to be a good thing. We're going to try and look at some of those warning lights on the dashboard and maybe even jack it up and see if we can figure out what that clonk is. But most importantly, we're going to take that horrible, horrible, shiny bling stuff off the side. If nothing else happens today, that will be a win. Right, so we're going to start today's adventure by changing the oil. Feels like a good place to begin on a little game. The drug dealer spec seal protectors do make it a tad interesting jacking the thing up, so I've had to put a block of wood to get past them, and there is an axle stand underneath there as well, because I'm not going underneath this thing without that. While we've got the wheel off the ground though, I'm just going to do a quick wiggle test because we've got that clonky clonk.
Clonky clonk is the left side.
Yeah, just double checking the right side, that seems okay, and I believe the drain plug is down there somewhere. Right, so while that's draining down, which is gushing, it's surprisingly hard to find the actual location for this on the internet, just to double check, because everyone refers to all the other engines apart from this one. Now BMW, in their infinite wisdom, I'm going to go with wisdom, they use a 36mm special key or special socket for taking the filter off in here, which is super lovely and helpful. Fortunately, I used to have a BMW 520 with a similar-ish 4-cylinder diesel, so I happen to have one of these in the garage. That's also why I happen to know you desperately need to be changing the oil all the time on these. The book might say 20,000 on the cars, I'm not sure it says on this one, but you don't want to go over 10,000 really on a BMW diesel, otherwise it will probably lunch its turbos. I'm guessing from the mileage,
don't want that.
We don't want that, but I'm guessing from the mileage on this car, this has been fairly well looked after. I know some people are going, 250,000 miles on that, you're mad! But the thing is, if a car has got that far, and this is the reason I sort of suggested this particular car, it shows that it's a good one because it's been used a lot.
It's a survivor.
It's a survivor, and someone has been taking care of that car for all those years. Otherwise, it wouldn't have made it to 250,000 miles. I'm going to rag now, otherwise I'm going to drip oil everywhere. This is where it kind of gets gross, because this isn't a can cartridge filter, this is a replacement cartridge job. There we go. So that is our old filter in there.
Ew.
So we take that out. Oops, let's try and balance that somewhere. Please balance. Stay balanced. Balance that there, get the old filter out, put the new filter element in there with the little rubber ring that goes on there. Right, so we'll get this grim thing out of here. It's funny, the Germans do like a cartridge filter quite a lot. The Mercedes 123's got the same kind of deal as well. Try and get this off.
Ah, that's where that...
Yeah, I need a little screwdriver for that. So we'll replace that and then we're good to go. So yeah, we pop this off. There we go, into the bin as well. Pop that into there. Is that right around? Does it matter? Same both ways, yeah. Worth double checking.
Right, there is rubber one.
Thank you. Really hard to tell with diesels just how old the oil actually is because it goes black so quickly. Right, it goes back in there. And because it's that kind of filter, we clean up all the oil was spilt down the side of the engine. And this is just so important. I mean, as I say, my 520, that had book servicing at 20,000 miles, and every 20,000 miles, and it ate its own turbo. Turbo failed, destroyed the engine about 85,000 miles. Ouch. So yeah, this is a minor servicing thing, minor maintenance, but so vital. Right, all drained out, back under with a fresh crush washer on there, tighten it up and then we can refill it.
He's going under there. I wouldn't.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
Beside you, I think.
Yeah. It's amazing how disorientated you get from your tools when you're lying under something.
Especially under something heavy.
Yeah. Anything will kill you. It's just this makes it feel more real.
How real does it feel right now?
Very. while the side's jacked up, we'll have a quick look. The boots look alright. CVs look decent, nothing's leaking. Everything looks pretty decent actually on this side.
I must admit, when I got stuck in traffic yesterday, the brakes did start to squeal. But that's the only time they've done that.
Okay, well
that was like stuck in nose to tail traffic for about 40 minutes.
So it's kind of working against the engine for a long time and getting hot.
Yeah.
How many miles have you done it now, do you think?
Must be at least a couple of hundred.
So that's pretty good, and proving reliable so far, apart from the ubiquitous trifecta of doom dashboard lights.
Yeah, but
yeah,
we don't pay attention to them.
We'll worry about that next. MOT's not till February. We can worry about it then. But no, we will have a look at it today, see if we can figure anything out with that. Now, vaguely confusingly, when it comes to the internet, it's not always the best source of information because it says 5.75 or 8.8 litres of oil, which is quite a big difference. So we'll start off with the smaller number because it's easier to add more than take it out. Now, we'll start off with the posh Shell Helix. We've got a few litres of this. I won't show you what the rest of the stuff I'm putting in here. Jason, go and put the kettle on or something. You don't need to see this.
Righto.
I think it was about 6 litres, but don't quote me on that. So, moment of truth. Does it still fire up or does it explode now, despite the fact it's got new oil and everything and better? I'm sure it's going to be fine, Jason. Don't worry about a thing. It's amazing how worried people get when you say don't worry. The trick a lot of people were saying in the comments was that these cars are hugely popular. There's a massive L322 community out there. People who adore these things, and lots of good advice. And one thing for the air suspension warning was, that wasn't me. Turn the wheel all the way to the left and then all the way to the right, and that will turn off some of your warning lights. I've still got HDC inactive, but we did just try and jack up that front corner, and the jack lifted all the way to its highest level. Yeah, it still says air suspension inactive. Are the rear wipers on? We've got to light this out. I'm just going to have a quick look and see if we can change that for you as well. We'll come back to that.
That's a side light, and that might be difficult.
Ah, okay, you looked into that, have you?
Yeah, I tried to get change it, but they said the wiring behind it is knotted, so that it would be very difficult.
You went back to after what they did to your Citroen.
Oh yeah, good point.
Don't go back there again. If you're going to take it anywhere, take it anywhere else. Wow, that was under the sun visor.
Yeah.
We think Peacock, that was tucked inside the car, so it has had a bit of a country life perhaps in its past.
Yeah.
Bit of a lucky charm for the car.
Hopefully.
Now the thing about this car is it's a 2003, same as my Freelander, so it's got OBD, but chances are it's not going to work on a full OBD system. So we've got the P-scan back out again, and we're going to see if we can sort out any codes that are showing up on this thing right now. I knew there's a reason for keeping these old puck mice. She's going to chime at us now. Yes, we know the key's in the ignition lock. Unfortunately, the P-scan couldn't talk to it. Tried all the different menus, but none of them seemed to do the trick. So, gone to the iCar soft, which is, fortunately, I've still got from Dad. What make is this? Land Rover, isn't it? Land Rover. Meanwhile, Jason is hunting through the book pack to try and find a code for the radio, because I didn't realise that it's still locked off at the minute. Hopefully you can find a book with it written down there. VIN identify. Switch ignition on. Okay. Read it. If it comes back with a transit, we're in trouble. Failed to read VIN code. Oh, come on. Right, so the whole scanning process has been a bit of a torture. It wouldn't VIN identify itself, it wouldn't accept the VIN I typed into the car, but I was able to just select the make and model as an L322 Range Rover, which is done. Meanwhile, Jason is searching through the history to find his radio code. He's actually found that as well as the new water pump and belts that the seller put on it a couple of weeks ago, had a new turbo a couple of years ago, so thank goodness that's been done, and thank goodness we've changed the oil again, so that'll keep protecting that. Had a new injector not long ago, a bit of other history, and it started its life on the Isle of Wight as well, so a bit of money. Ooh, so we've got quite a lot of faults. 3 ABS, 1 SRS, 4 instrument cluster modules, 1 HVAC, 2 air suspension, 2 immobilizers, 10 light check module faults, 2 body control module faults, 3 fuel-fired heater module faults. You've got a fuel-fired heater on this thing.
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, you might have, and it's faulty. Maybe that's the fault. 1 parking assist module control fault, 1 steering angle sensor fault, 1 steering lock module fault. Oh, sorry, there's 2 of them. 3 transfer case module faults, and 1 range module. I'm going to erase all of those. It might take a while. It's got a bit of work to do. Any more information about the car you found there?
No, just general stuff about Parrot system that apparently it doesn't have anymore, unfortunately.
Oh. Well, I'll tell you what, we've got a lot less faults now. Only got 1 ABS fault, 1 air suspension fault, 2 light check modules faults, and 1 rain sensor fault. So let's have a look at the ABS. Read fault code. Air suspension system CAN error. That's something, an 8A. I'm going to have to Google that one. Yep, cleared it, still got it. It's an 8A. I'm going to Google that one. Air suspension, a 32 CAN bus fault. Okay, that might be a bad connection somewhere. I was hoping it would be just a wheel sensor that was at fault. Hardware failure of RLS. I've got me some Googling to do. Air suspension active, inactive. Check coolant fault. Because it says it's got low coolant on the dashboard, but we just checked the coolant and there was plenty of it, so we've got a coolant sensor there. That's at fault. Okay, well, it looks a lot healthier there. This is a wiring issue. Well, those faults are annoyingly cryptic. I'm going to have to go away, do a little bit of research and figure out what the problems are with those. It sounds like it might be wiring issues rather than sensors, which was what I was hoping was. Because a lot of people were saying in the comments, if it's just a wheel sensor for the ABS that's gone, that would chuck out a whole load of faults and all those dashboard lights will come on for that one thing. And that's a cheap and hopefully, touch wood, easy fix. If, however, it is a wiring issue, that could be a little bit more involved, but I'm going to get back. I'll figure out what it is and hopefully do it in time to cut away to tell you what it is right now. Or maybe I didn't. Depends what happens in the future. But right now we can take advantage of the fact that it is horribly warm and try and start getting some of this stuff off, because this terrible bling is the worst. It just makes the car look really cheap. So we're going to try and get rid of some of this stuff, get a hot air gun onto it and just try and peel it away. So getting it nice and hot with the D20 hot air gun and my biggest trim tool, try and melt the glue from behind it. And hopefully we can get this thing to peel away without lacerating my hands too badly. Throw gloves on for this, really, shouldn't I? eBay and AliExpress have got a lot to answer for when it comes to this kind of crap. Oh, Spitfire?
No. Oh, yes.
It is, isn't it? Yes. Oh no, not over there. Yes, over there. It's running late. It normally comes at 11.
Tell us it needs to do better. Yes, thank you, Wish.
Yeah, Wish.com's finest car accessories. Yes. Right. That I'm not quite sure we're going to get off, but we'll figure that out. What's the? That looks so much better. Yeah. Right, I'm going to find you some brakes. 3 down. It's looking so much better for it. This hot air gun has been so useful. I actually got it to do the at the window tint off the Freelander. So in fact, all I ever use this thing for is in fact to de-bling Land Rovers, bizarrely. Just one tiny one left to do. Tell you what, that looks so much better, even with the glue stock on it still. That looks a million times better. That looks about 1,012,000,000 times better, even with the glue still on there. It's such a massive improvement without having that terrible chavvy bling all over it. I left Jason trying to work his magic. I found the hot air gun was the most effective, but we'll come back and try that some more in a second. The thing I realised would take it off in no time at all, this is what I haven't got here, is tar remover from Diamond Bright. Didn't matter. Someone graffitied the back wall of the garage and I used all the bottles of it that I had, taking that graffiti off. If I'd realised that, I'd got popped around to Diamond Bright and got some more before we started this video, but we'll persevere without. The last big bit of bling to shift is this tacky. That comes off very easily indeed, is this bit here. The mirrors we're going to leave because we don't know if they're factory or stick-on. I think they're stick-on, but they look all right. It's got the
It's a bit of extra armour for the mirrors.
Yeah, it's actually a bit of clonkage in case you go through, hedges and things. We've got the chrome grille and we've got the chrome gills. We think the grills and the gill are either factory or a later model update. I'm not sure they're a factory from this generation, but this thing, there should be silver plastic underneath here. And because this is kind of crumpled already, it just looks terribly cheap. There we go. And that is like a silvery plastic, which is what it should be underneath here.
Yeah.
Ah, man, we definitely want a tar remover to get this stuff off. It might even be easier to go and get a second-hand one of these that's in better condition. Someone's used some really nasty cement on this. Let's go hot air some more glue off this thing. In the dictionary under thankless tasks, it says, see this. I'm tempted at this point to actually leave this until I can go and get a bottle or two of Diamond Bright tar remover, because that will make this job a really quick and easy task instead of this absolute pain in the bottom that it is right now. It just melts this glue off here. We come back onto this next week with some tar remover.
Good idea.
We're bored of doing this. We're going to wait till next week and do this with some tar remover. It's been a week, been a couple 100 miles. Are you still happy with your purchase?
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's a cool car.
Yeah, it wafts you everywhere. It has high cool factor.
Yep.
And it's one of the most comfortable cars I've ever been in. And I have driven several Saabs. That's about 25 to 30 to the gallon.
Which, for a car this big, it isn't really too bad, to be fair, is it?
No. I mean, considering this is, the size of a Lincoln Navigator or something.
Yeah, it's not a small car. It's pretty similar in size to the Crown Vic, to be fair. How was the insurance? That was the issue, wasn't it? Because I forgot to mention this when we did the video collecting it. Because your old insurance company, they wouldn't even touch it, would they?
No, they would not.
And then, what was that mental quote? You got 10 grand, did you say?
No, it was 4.5 grand and monthly payments of 475.
Ooh, that's not good for a car worth £1,000.
Yes.
And it's not even this generation that gets stolen all the time.
No.
It's a real
no, it was a bit of a pig to insure. And I can't imagine why, because this thing still has keys.
Yeah.
So it's not as if someone can just grab the code and drive off in it.
No, it's traditional, it's old school.
Yeah.
And this isn't the generation that gets nicked because it's too old.
Yes.
So that's just stupid, but you did manage to get it insured in the end, I assume.
Yes, yeah. With difficulty, but in the end, yes.
Yeah, you found someone. I forgot to ask, what's the tax on it?
The tax is 228 for 6 months, so it's gas guzzler tax.
Yes, it's what, 540-ish a year, 550 a year. It's steep, but it's a lot of car.
Yes, it is. I mean, basically, it is one of the most comfortable cars you will ever drive.
Yes, there is that.
It's pretty much, it just wafts you from point to point.
Yeah.
There's no more stress involved in driving it than that, really.
No, it's a very comfy thing. We just need to sort out that radio for you, really. Although,
yes.
That's a weird size. It's not doubled in, is it? It's like so that is a standard doubled in surround, but that is about 0.5 centimetre taller, but significantly narrower. So it's like a unique shape. So we are going to have to go and dig out that code. If the worst comes to the worst, we can pull this out and there'll be a serial number on the back of it. It costs about £8 online, and we can go and send off to get the code from a database somewhere.
Excellent.
I have done that before, but if that's if worst comes to worst.
Yeah.
So Jace, we've got fresh oil.
Yep.
We've got a partial diagnosis of what's wrong with it.
Yep.
By the time you see this video, I may have figured out what those codes actually mean, in which case Jason might not be smiling anymore. But he's smiling now. And most of all though, we have successfully de-blinged this, even though it's still got a bit of the horrible gummy stuff on there. Which Jason, though, as someone did point out in the comments last time, is a rock star with his sunglasses on in the rain. And I might actually make some inquiries on eBay about getting a new one of these, because that cement looks like epoxy or something that might chip off, but it might not. But we'll see how we go, because that should be like a silvery plastic thing and someone's made a mess of that. Well, we might actually sand back and we can paint it. There's plenty of options. There's lots to do on this car that will keep on making it nicer and nicer and nicer, because we've got the fundamentals of a really nice car just here.
Definitely.
So you just need to do your bit to keep it lovely.
Doing my bit.
Maybe we'll give it a deep clean next week. Maybe next week we can take it to the clay bar. Get the paint looking lovely. Maybe give it a bit of a vacuum and clean the interior out as well. It's good. And so far, you're still happy.
Hey.
So to everyone who said I was a terrible friend for putting Jason in this car, you're wrong.
To my neighbours, unfortunately I am having to take up a parking space in an area where parking is at a bit of a premium, but that's because the people who agreed to come and pick the car up then decided they weren't going to come and pick it up for 2 weeks.
This is a Citroen, the dead Citroen, but it is going to be 300 quid though, so...
Yeah, so sorry about that folks. I'm not doing it to annoy you, promise.
It's the other stuff he's doing to annoy you, which he does so well.
Damn it, Matt, you said you wouldn't mention that.
Sorry. But think about that, you're going to get £300 for the Citroen.
Yep.
I reckon you probably get 600 quid if that's number plate. You're virtually into a free car then.
Pretty much, yeah.
So yeah, free Range Rover.
Hey!
I'm going to call it that and leave it there. Thanks for watching. Join us again next time. Head to the merch store and the Amazon link for all the Draper tools we've used in the video as usual. And see you again next time. Goodbye.